Alright, what's going on, guys? Moxification here. So today, uh, I wanted to upload this mod a while ago. It's not something that a lot of people will be interested in. In fact, I doubt even more than let's say like 1 out of 10 people. I doubt even more than 1 out of 10 people will want this mod, but I just thought that it'd be uh something good to do, as such, potentially to release it. This was actually released already. It was released about maybe a month ago now. Um, Me and two other people, like sort of the creators of this mod, um, came together and we sort of debated whether it should be released or not. A few things happened within the mod itself, and like people getting it and it being like someone else was probably going to release it and get credit for it, and one of the guys didn't want that to happen, and so we all agreed that it could be released, and yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. As I said, it had already been released. It went up on a website. People tweeted out about it, and everything was good. And then my domain, well, not the domain. The domain didn't go down at all. I mean, the hosting went down because it wasn't paid for, and so it didn't really get fully released as such. I was going to do a video on it then, but it didn't really happen. And I'm doing that now. So as you can see in the middle of my screen, you've got I nearly said three. I meant four raw folders. And essentially, I'm gonna give a download link to each of them. Like this. Yeah, I guess we'll get into it. So, you've got number one, which is KEV, and then in brackets TXT. Number two is KEV, and then in brackets D-pad DLL. Three is KEV, and then in brackets a menu DLL, and then 4 is KEV in brackets source. So if you don't know what this is, I doubt you would have ever have heard of it unless you're within the sniping community. This is a sniping based mod. It's not for people who just want to play for fun or mod or whatever. It's not a modding based mod. It's not for modders. It's not for people who just want to mess around. It's simply for snipers. If not people who go for clips online, like not trick shots, like sniper based clips, so like feeds, kill feeds and stuff on MW2. So if you're a sniper, you've probably heard of it. If not, it doesn't matter either way. It's not a well-known mod. It's just if you're within the sniping community, you will have probably heard of it. You probably would have seen it mentioned. If you go on Twitter or the internet and you just look up KEV lobby, or like a KEV lobby, you'll probably find some mention of it somewhere. But it's nothing major. So yeah, it's if you're within the sniping community and you snipe and you're a sniper and you've played COD 4, it's similar to a Rex lobby, but a little bit different, and I'll get into it and I'll explain it more in detail once like I've got the mods, well, not the mods, but the things going. So yeah, so I think I'll show you basically how to set them all up, and I'll show you what is like in between. Not in between, I mean like in the mods themselves. So yeah, give me 1 sec. Alright, so yeah, what you want to do is for the KEV with the TXT, we'll just move this to the side, move these to the right. The TXT is really simple to infect. All you want to do is get on MW2. So right now I'm on the dashboard. I'm just going to go to MW2 and then get on MW2, and I'm just going to load up MW2 normally, and I'm also going to open up the capture card so you can see what's going on on the screen itself, on the Xbox, on the JTAG. The kev.txt is simply it's just an infection. The kev is just simply an infection, whereas like let me minimize out of this. essentially all of these together, it's just an infection. It goes from like the most basic of the basics to the highest end of the whole thing, which is the source to the to the menu. Not to the menu. I think it's to the D-pad DLL. So yeah, so we'll move this over. So essentially, how you would infect the KEV.txt, you'd open it up, you'd extract the KEV.txt, and you'd simply just open up a program that actually infects from a TXT file, like dark XRPC. You'd go into a game, so as you can see, I'm going into a game right now on private match. Normally, you'd infect like your retail console from your JTAG and system link, and that's how you do it. And you do connect. You'd spawn in. You'd go to the give infection from text file. You'd find it. So I believe it's kev.txt. If you open it up in here, you'll see it's like open up. You can even take a look at it and edit it if if you want to edit it. And then as you can see, there's the that's the notification it will bring up to know that everything's infected, everything's gone good. Essentially, it just has force host in it and some other stuff. You can read through it, but essentially, it's like the perfect sniper lobby sort of thing. And the thing about the KEV that makes it the KEV is the unlimited lobby. How the unlimited lobby works is essentially when you call in a nuke, it sets the nuke to be the nuke timer to be, I think it's like 30 minutes or something, and then when the person who called in the nuke dies, the nuke disappears, the noise goes away, the thing goes away, and essentially it's a devar called it's like nuke cancel or something. I'll try and find it, but essentially it cancels the nuke, and so it removes the nuke from the game, and so it just makes the game go on forever. Essentially, what it will do is on domination, it will freeze the points, and then on TDM, it will also freeze the points, and time limit will go away when it gets to 0, and it will just make the game go on forever. That's what it does. I can't find the nuke cancel mode thing. I don't see it in here, but it's definitely in here somewhere. If you look for it, you'll definitely find it. And essentially it cancels the nuke, to stop. Here it is, nuke cancel mode 9, and that's what it does, If you want, you can change all the stuff. It's got stuff to do with armor piercing damage, which is to do with shooting down like Harriers and air support. That's it. It's got the hard scope, like you can hard scope like all the time if you're the host, and it's proper, like fully on, like you can I think it's like unlimited hard scope. You can't knife anyone, unlimited sprint, all these different things that would be helpful for like snipers. And then also in care packages, it's just ammo. There's nothing else in care packages. So there's a few more things to do with it, but I'm sure that you'll work it out eventually. There's so many things to do with it, and yeah, you'll just learn it. If you ever want to give it a go, you can do. But as I said before, it is mainly for snipers, and mainly for that. So essentially, what you would do is you click Infect Client on using the dark XRPC tool. You'd wait a minute, and then it would come up on your screen, in the middle of your screen, saying Infected KEV, and you'll see that right there, Infected KEV Lobbies, and that's what it was in the text document. And then you're good to go. You can exit out of all of that. Then if you were in system link with your JTAG, or even online, and you was infecting your friend, or you was infecting yourself, all you'd have to do is back out and then go online, and then you could host the KEV lobby. You just get a nuke, and then when you call in a nuke and you've done all that, everything's good. That's how it works. So yeah, that's the first version of the KEV. So I'm gonna delete the text document because this is it here, and I'll obviously leave a download link to that. So we'll move this over to the left now since we've spoke about that. The next one is the KEV, which is the D-pad DLL. The reason there's multiple different versions of this is simply because it got better over time, and you'll see what I mean. With the KEV.txt, it was buggy. there was a lot of DVARs. There was about 120 DVARs within the whole infection, and so every now and then it would crash when you was infecting yourself or another person or whatever. You know, it would crash. Your Xbox would turn off, or it black screen, or fatal crash, or whatever. So essentially, a DLL was made. Originally, the DLL was made by Ethernet. The source was made by Ethernet. It was made for the project. I think it was called All-in-One or Moxa V1 or whatever. There were so many different names that I called it, but essentially it was just, you know, you got level 70 undercore, 10th prestige, and like 0 prestige, for example. And it was just using the D-pad to do it, and it was like a really quick challenge lobby, and I changed that into being the KEV. So the KEV, I'm going to drag and drop it into MW2, and it's not just the KEV. When, obviously, as you can see, they all say, you know, KEV.TXT. The KEV.TXT is just the KEV, you know, it just is. And that was made by Psycho Kev. He was the creator. Obviously, I edited it, and then Massey Mate edited it as well. There were different things in there. With this one, Ethernet was the original creator. Also, as I said before, Kev made the Kev lobby. I got the idea to build this, and then I built it, I created it, and then Massey Mate helped as well, because he added his own things, he had his own input, and yeah, so from there, we're going to go back onto the hall purge capture so you can see what's going on. So essentially how this one works is, you just, it's called Project Eye Snipes. That was, you know, that's what I called it at the time. It was like a funny name because there's like eye reaps, you know. And essentially how it works is you just join in. You'd never want to use this as the host. If you wanted to host the Kev lobby, you would never use this. You'd only ever use the text document to infect yourself, or you'd get, you know, in a game with your JTAG in System Link, and you'd have host it on your retail. And essentially what you've got is you've got Kev lobbies, which is D-pad up. And this is all client, by the way. You just click D-pad up for the Kev lobby, D-pad down for just force host, a D-pad left for force host and low health together, and then D-pad right is extras. And extras is something that was also fairly private. I mean, to be honest, when I say private, all of these DVARs are public. All of the DVARs are fully public information. They're all out there. You can get them really easily. But all of the DVARs together are like, you could say that they're all public, but they're not. All of the DVARs that make up the Kev are like rare to find. Like, I don't know, you'd have to have looked for them and like taken a long time to find them, and, you know, test them with different numbers and test them with different things, and eventually, you know, that happened and this was made. What it says in the bottom left is made by Moxa, and then it also says two things. It says make sure you go main menu before getting force host / Kev. FH is force host, and then Kev is Kev. Essentially, the reason you want to do that is because it doesn't give you force host or the Kev if you haven't been main menu. If you've already connected to an online game, it's just a glitchy thing. So just, you know, if you're ever getting it, make sure you go main menu. It also says spam D-pad left for force host and plus low health to make it work. And that was simply because the code was messed up in the menu. I know why it was messed up, and eventually I fixed it, but this is a previous version to the menu, and so it is, you know, it's a little bit broken. This, you know, it's an older version of the well, not the menu, but this version. So yeah, so that's that. The next thing is, let's move this over to the left. The next thing is the Kev menu DLL. This was made fairly recently. I'm just gonna load it up on MW2 right now. Here we go. This one actually has no, you know, you can add a comment. I'll probably add a comment later, but essentially, this was originally made by ZZ9i Haxers, Botch, and Ari. You know, it was made by them. It was the aspect modding menu, and then I used the source to create, you know, this, you know, the Kev menu instead of the Kev D-pad thing. I just thought it'd be a little upgrade, a little bit of fun to mess with, maybe like change it a little bit. I didn't really change it that much. I just changed a couple of the shader colors, and I don't know. I just thought it'd be a cool thing to add into it. And yeah, so essentially how this works is it's just the normal menu, the normal aspect modding menu. But then when you go into infections, you've got the force host plus low health. You got the extras, and I'll go into what the extras are. I forgot about that in the last one. Kev very low health, and trick shot, and then there's nothing on these two because I didn't add anything yet. Well, I hadn't added anything yet. So as I said, the extras are actually long kill feeds. Essentially, how it works is if you were to hit a, let's say you hit a, I don't know, you killed a guy, you killed another guy, and you killed another guy, and it was a triple like in the kill feed, like you could say a triple on screen. Essentially, instead of it being there for, let's say it's there for 5 seconds normally, it's going to be there for 10 seconds, and so like you're going to be sort of getting more clips in terms of sniping clips. The trick shot is just it's similar to the Kev, but it's like force host plus low health, but for trick shot. People who trick shot, if you trick shot, it's nothing really. It's just something. It's like low health. You can shoot down not airstrikes, air support quicker than normal. It only takes like 10 shots with the sniper or something. So it's not that difficult to take it down. And probably less than that, probably like a couple of shots. And then if you had a pistol, you could shoot it and take it down really quick. And then as for the force host plus low health and the Kev plus very low health, it's just simply like the normal Kev still has low health and force host still has low health, but it just has more low health than normal. That's what it is. And then the extras also has as you can see, the thing changed. Like it went from being like kind of blurry to less blurry, and essentially it removes smoke and shadows, so you don't see tactical insertions, you don't see smokes. When you get flashed, it doesn't affect you. That's essentially what it does. I think it does it with stuns as well, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so that's what it does. You could come over to this. If you see like I'm shooting, you don't see anything like. There's no bits on the floor. You don't see any flames, whereas it just blew up. There's a few sort of things. Like if I shoot this thing, normally water comes out of it. I think water didn't come out of that just then because there's no effects. So that's the third thing. The final thing, I don't need the capture card on anymore. I don't need the hole punch capture on anymore. So I'll get that off and I'll turn my Xbox off now. Essentially, the Kev source is just the source. That's all it is. It's the source to the I believe it's to the D-pad DLL version of the menu. Essentially, created by Ethernet, the original source. Kev for the Kev lobby. Me for the ID and build. Massey for help. Designs for help. Because designs from Infected Xbox, also the creator of JTAG Toolbox, and also the 7sins community, because they, I don't know, the 7sins community is quite a sort of tight community. Like you don't really think of it like that. It could be better, but I got a little bit of help from them over there. So if you wanted to edit this, you would use the source. You could edit it like when you use CMD and you I forgot the method, but essentially you could edit DLLs, but you couldn't really edit them as much as you could like with the source. And with this source, you'd be able to edit it. You've also got a different version of the Kev, which is like Massey's version of the Kev. And there's different things if you want to get it. There's definitely different versions of it within the source. But essentially how it works is you'd open up the SLN, you'd open it in Visual Studios. You can open the files within other stuff, but you can't build it. So you definitely want to get Visual Studios, Microsoft Visual Studios, and then you'd simply just open it up. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll just make a folder on my desktop, and I'll just stick all of these in the folder really quick, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if you open it up, you'll see that when you first open it up, it will be like this. If you just do the drop down, and then open up the DLL underscore load dot CPP, then you can edit stuff. I think there's only stuff in this, the DLL underscore load dot CPP. I don't think there's anything else anywhere else in like within the source stuff. But yeah, you can edit it, you can change it, you can do whatever, make it better, add some other stuff, maybe just turn it back into the all-in-one, you know. It is just a little bit of a better version than that, and it has some different things in there. So yeah, that's about it really. You know, if you want to edit this, you can. I'm sure that if you are going to edit this, you probably already know how to use Visual Studios. It's quite simple, obviously. You just click build, and then that'd build it. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I know this wasn't really a normal video, and it's not gonna build it because my Xbox is off. So we'll just wait for it to fail and then I'll exit out of it. But yeah. So I guess, you know, thanks for watching. I know, bit of a different video. But I'll upload all of these one by one, like separately, so you don't have to just download all of them. Like, the source is quite big, you know, it really is. And then you can pick which ones you want to download, if not all of them. So yeah, one final thing would be that I have one more video coming soon, and an announcement would be that I'm not switching website from what I've got currently. I did switch one final time. The website that I'm going to be using from now on is moxification.co.uk, and that's it. I'm not going to be moving. If anything goes wrong with this, I'm going to do as much as I can to keep to stay on moxification.co.uk. I'll link that in the description. If there's any download links on any of my videos that are you know, not working, or you can't work out how to do it, if it's not on moxification.co.uk/downloads, it's nowhere else. There'll be nowhere to find them unless it was Mediafire, and Mediafire is still kind of difficult for me to find links anyway. Yeah, so if you can't find it, it's not there, it doesn't exist, and there's not really much I can do about it other than re-upload it. And a lot of the stuff that I've got, I don't really have anymore, you know, like all of the old stuff I don't really have anymore. So yeah, so that's about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Yeah, goodbye.